Tiffany. I'm from Louisiana, a little small town in Louisiana. Um, I'm Double D Mother on TikTok. I'm a political shit talker. I love the politics. That's mainly what I report on is the politics and the news. For my job, my regular life, I'm a wife. I've been married for 4 years, and I have two children. My son, who is 1, and my daughter, who is 2.
Oh my
She's
God, you're busy.
Yes, she's a special. My daughter is also special needs. She has mild cerebral palsy. Um, so there's a lot of dynamics to my life. I also work. I work in housing and urban development. Um, I work getting low income people housing. That's basically what I do and manage those. Um,
So you're
that's
so you're going to heaven, clearly.
That I hope that would be the that I'll be going because of my help to the people.
When did you find TikTok? How long ago?
I started TikTok in March, and I actually did not know that people actually sit and talk about issues. I really thought you was just supposed to remake movies. So if you go all the way down my TikTok, you will see me remaking movies.
What do you
Because
mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I thought that people just remade movie scenes. I didn't know that they
Really?
actually talked about issues. I thought that they just, because that's all I ever seen come across my Facebook was people on here remaking movies. So I was just remaking movies and putting it up there like remaking, like acting. That's what I thought it was for. I didn't know that people actually talked about things on
And
it.
when I first found it, I thought it was only for dancing. So me and my husband would do like a couple of dances, but you know,
Exactly. And one day I ran across, I was just strolling and I saw Conscious Lee. I don't know if you know him, but I saw him and he was talking about education is elevation. He was talking about something with the African American community that was going on at the time. And I was like, wait, so people actually talk about things on here? They actually can talk about stuff. So my very first video I made talking about something was about Donald Trump, and it was about him introducing the platinum plan, and it just went from there.
you seem to do good research on your TikTok stuff too. You come
Oh
up with
yes,
yeah.
I'm a certified paralegal.
Okay.
So that's where my research background comes from. Um, I worked as a paralegal when I very first got out of college. I lived in New Mexico, and I worked for the child support division. And so I learned a lot about researching. And then I worked for another lawyer that does a lot of skip tracing. I don't know if you know
What
what that means, but it's
what's
like
different?
searching people, finding people. Skip tracing is like finding people that don't want to be found. So I
Mhm.
learned a lot about research from, from those two jobs.
Cool.
So, mhm.
It almost is astonishing that we are living in the world that we're living in currently.
Right.
And I mean, there's always, I am the first one to find what is the teaching moment and where do we pull out the goodness from the worst scenarios that we've all experienced,
Right.
tragedy and loss and heartbreak. But I just never thought we would get here. It's very personal for me too, this kind of the racism and the anti-Semitism, because my mother survived the concentration camps. Her whole family was killed. And, just when the fact remains that history repeats itself is just like an adage that we know. And we are
Mhm.
seeing the begin. We're like, it's 1923 is when, you know, um, Hitler wrote Mein Kampf. So by
Mhm.
1933, they've already built Dachau. So if you think about a
Right.
10-year trajectory of where that is, it's, Trump started with the birtherism in what, 2000, what year was that,
He started that
2007?
before 2006, I would say
Okay,
2006, because
so
yeah. Mhm.
So seeds planted, okay, I don't think anything's kind of sprouted, but it's more than just seeds now, and it's
Mm-hmm.
too close for my comfort, you know?
Yes.
So I just, you know, and all I can do is try to do whatever I can to verbalize the anger and turn anger into action. So that's my whole commitment now going forward, you know.
Right.
And that's why I found you and everyone that I follow. I'm having like the time of my life that I feel connected to people again. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
before COVID, I was so detached from the world in a way. You know, even though
Mm.
I have a relationship and you know I'm kind of not a loner, I'm not a kook or anything, but I still just felt very detached. And this has been a real great way to just kind of feel about people that I would never have met, but just to feel this level, you know.
It's it's beautiful. It's beautiful to have the support and see that there is still humanity in the world, that people still care, that people still want to hear you. Um, it can get lost in the sauce, in my opinion, that your opinion matters, that what you say matters. And that's the way I feel about my TikTok family, that um, you know, it could be a situation that somebody else has already covered, and they don't, and they're like, Tiffany, we really want to know what you think of this. I hope that you cover this. That makes me feel good inside, you know, that even though someone else already explained it, they still want to hear me talk some crap about it. I mean,
Right, right.
they have surrounded me with so much love and comfort, and they care about my kids, they care about my husband. I have people that they follow me across every platform, and it is beautiful to feel this love, and I wouldn't have had it if it weren't for TikTok, so I can thank them for that.
Yeah, no, it's really been a joy. So,
Hmm.
how do you think we're going? So, when you brought up the question, how are we gonna, or how is Joe Biden gonna bring people together? I don't think it's up to only Joe.
No,
I
no,
think, I mean, there is not going to be a remedy for this in any immediate future.
no, no.
And
Um, as long as they don't want to, as long as the members of Congress will not even acknowledge, I made a video about this last night, they won't even acknowledge that what Trump did was wrong. They won't even acknowledge that he's guilty. You know, forget about this. Oh, it's unconstitutional, this bullcrap that you're trying to say. The thing is, what he did this. So he should be held accountable. Until there is a wake up moment for them to really tell these people, to tell them that this was a big lie, that Trump, ever since he found out that Joe Biden was running, he perpetuated this lie. And until they tell people this, even if they did that, some may not believe, but some will believe. But until they own it and reach across the aisle, there's not going to be any change. There's not going to be any change. Nothing that Joe Biden can say will change it.
no,
Nothing.
and I have to say, the other thing I was thinking about today is when in the Nixon trial, the top
Mm-hmm.
brass was put in jail. Like, it's not only
Right.
about the insurrectors that I want to see destroyed and in jail and immediately and whatever. That goes without saying. But until
Mm-hmm.
we have some people that are high up in the government, someone in the FBI, someone in the DOD, one in the DOJ, one of the cronies in the Senate, that woman Boebert, that woman Green. I mean, these people, I mean, it's like if they get away with that, then you and I can kind of run roughshod on anybody else in this world and say I'm allowed to do it. It's giving
Exactly.
license to be
Exactly. That's
murderers. It's giving license to be
exactly.
murderers. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be a murderer,
Exactly.
you know?
Right. Right. It's ridiculous. I I just feel like, and I don't think they ever will. I think that they want to please Trump's base. Excuse me. I got a cough. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I have a little cough. They want to please Trump's base. That's the thing. They want to capture it. But this is not the way to do it. change up the narrative. This is they have the opportunity to change the narrative now, to change it, but they won't do it because they don't think they can.
And Nikki Haley today came out and said that Trump should just be forgiven. And I mean, she wants to run for president, that piece of work.
I would never vote for her. I would never vote for Josh Hawley. I would never vote for Ted Cruz because they all have that ambition. They will not, I will never vote for them. And I swear, if we still have TikTok in 2024, I will be talking about that every single day. Every person I can reach.
Our job is to really be focused on 2022 starting now. You know what
yes,
I mean?
yes, yes.
See who's running. I mean, what's his name? Rob Portman in Ohio is not running again.
Yeah.
You know, Jamie Harrison, who's just taken over the DNC. I mean, I was hoping Stacey Abrams would be the one to take that job because what she did in Georgia, if she could do in 3 other states, we'd be fine, you know. But I think she wants to be governor in Georgia because that's coming in 2022. So that's a race we have to work on. But I think people like you and me, and there's like a handful, like a couple of dozen of us that need to kind of spearhead, like it's like adopt a state or adopt a candidate and, you know, make our followers kind of, you know, do whatever it's because it's taking action. I just think there's a group of us that can really get people motivated. So let me ask you something. Because you are so looked to for a political point of view, have you always been political? Were you that way on Facebook before TikTok started or on Twitter?
Absolutely. I've always been a person to follow politics. Not only is it interesting, but it is petty and it can be messy. But it's very important to know what you're doing, know your civics, to know who you're voting for. I understand that just voting for Joe Biden is not the answer. You need to vote in your local elections for your judges, for your attorney generals. This is the kind of stuff that got me involved. It got me so interested in politics because we elect these people to these jobs. If you're not voting, then you have no room to complain. That's the thing. And us as African Americans, that's something, or blacks, I'm just gonna say black people. Us as black people, that is something that we don't understand. I cannot tell you the number of times I've seen on my page that frustrated me so bad during this election that they were not going to vote because they felt their vote didn't count. Now, if this election did not change your mind on the black vote counting, then I don't know what would, because the entire world was watching, waiting for the black voters from those counties to determine who is the president, who was going to be the president. That is a powerful statement to make. That is a powerful moment for you to understand that your voice is important and it matters. And that's why I love it.
And it actually, now we know, counts more.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what's incredible. That's what we take away from this election cycle, is that black women, black youth, these were the ones that put us over the edge. Yes, a few suburban white women that didn't want to get their grabbed, whatever, you know what I mean? But for the most part, that's like an amazing, that should make anyone that didn't vote revisit who they are, to say, okay, it's my time now. There's an election coming up, and we'll see. Hopefully, hopefully the numbers will just go up in general, in the number of people that vote in every way, especially in the midterms. Like this next midterm election is as important as this past one.
Absolutely.
Like we have to act like Trump is still in the White House.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a horrible thing to consider.
I know. I don't look Frumpy Dump. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of saying his name, but these people, if I don't mention Frumpy Dump in the day, they're gonna ask me, what happened? We need a Frumpy Dump. We need to hear Frumpy Dump. I think we about covered it. This has been a wonderful conversation. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for this. You too, darling.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye, honey.